Welcome back to Midday. We have John Van Limbeek joining us from Abbott Wealth Management. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're talking today about financial independence. What it means to me might be different from what it means to you.
Yeah, and it's just something to think about. I sent in a chart, but basically it's not necessarily retirement, right? It's a point in time when you no longer have to work because maybe your income exceeds your expenses. So something that there's no dollar amount on that, but all it's trying to say is that as time goes past, your monthly income increases, usually your expenses decrease sometime in your working years, and you're saving for that retirement date, let's just call it that, or that date that at some point in the future. That crossover point, if you think of it that way, is just that point in time when your expenses, or your passive income, your monthly income is higher than your expenses.
Okay.
Right? Now, it could be retirement for a lot of people, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. If you live a very frugal life, it could be when you're 30. But like I said, the tendency is to say as you make more, you spend more, and then your monthly income goes higher, or your monthly expenses go higher. But all we're trying to show there is that when you start looking at that passive income, it's not necessarily a dollar amount that you watch every day kind of thing, or depending on how much you watch your account. It can be a combination of rental income. It could be a combination of any royalties you have, right? You don't have to work. Someone sends you a check. You got a YouTube video or a song. You know, if someone downloads that song, you get $1. I don't know what the number is, but something like that. So when that passive income is more than your expenses, then just from a definition point of view, you've achieved financial independence.
Right, but the level of financial independence depends on what you want your retirement to look like, right? And that's where you sit down and say, okay, this is what I'm envisioning for myself.
Exactly, and you have to, like you said, if you look far enough in advance, then you can plan for that. But some people can live very frugally, and you can achieve that independence. It's not necessarily a dollar amount. Not everybody, but a lot of people think it's, well, I need more money in my RSP account or more savings. Well, not necessarily the case. I mean, that's just a dollar amount. That's one way to benchmark it or one way to measure it. But in regards to financial independence and that crossover point, people got to start thinking about that a little bit differently than just what's that account today, what's the value tomorrow kind of thing. When you're looking out, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, what does that mean?
And I'm sure you would agree, the smart person who has all this extra income coming in and they just spend it frivolously, perhaps they should be investing a little bit more of that so they can stop working earlier.
Absolutely.
Rather than
or
just
planning for the unforeseen, right?
That's
there's lots of, all I'm trying to do is just give people different ways to think about different things. It's not necessarily a one size fits all for everybody, but at the end of the day, even when you do retire, you still have to track those expenses. You have a fixed amount of money that you have to provide for a certain period of time. It could be 20, 30 years, who knows, right? I mean, there's longevity is a bigger factor now than it was even 20 years ago. 10 or 15 years ago, that's what you're planning for your retirement. Now people are living into their 90s. You don't necessarily need the same income when you're 65 as when you're 90, all things being equal, but nonetheless, you still have to give it some thought. You can't go back to work when you're 82. You shouldn't anyway.
Hopefully you don't
have to.
Right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So,
We're out of time, John. Thank you so much. Did you get everything out you wanted to say?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you for being here today. Good things to think about here. Information on the screen. If you would like to be in touch with Abbott, you certainly can do that via their website, phone number, or by email, info@abbottwealth.com. We're back in 2 minutes. Stay with us.